Alright, hopefully this fixes the audio problem for a bit. I switched the settings on my computer. You guys can let me know in the comments below. Because I think the microphone and the webcam has become kind of, let's just say they're not supposed to be transported as much as I've been transporting them around lately. So Willie Desjardins gets fired. Everybody knew he was a dead man walking for the second half of the season. It sucks. Desjardins had some weird ideas in terms of who should play where. I know Marcus Granlund had good chemistry with the Sedins, and then the next game he's not with them. There was a lot of that, where you'd watch something during a Canucks game and you go, well, that works, and then the next game you'd go a completely different direction. Willie Desjardins is a good coach, but I don't. It's hard. Being an NHL coach is really, really difficult. It's very, very difficult. And I don't know that Desjardins had a team last year or this year that was worthy of being anywhere near contender. Desjardins is, and again, it's really easy to pick him and point at him and go, he's not good enough. But that's not telling the whole story, because if he wasn't good enough to be coach, how did they make the playoffs last year? Now, it is common for a team to play well with a new coach. Very common. Look around the league. How many teams were having kind of a season, switch coaches, and everything gets better? Julian in Montreal, Waite on the island, Yo in St. Louis, Cassidy in Boston. It works most of the time. Rowe in Florida being the example of it not always working. Willie Desjardins being fired means they're ready to go to Travis Green, in my eyes. They've been getting Travis Green ready to take over the team for the last couple of years, and it's sort of like what Ryan Miller's doing in net, where he's holding the fort until the other guys are ready, and it sucks. I think what sucks too is the reports that the assistant coaches were let go except for Jarvis. Now, when I look at Doug Jarvis and his resume, the rumor at the time he was hired was the Canucks were bringing him in to help fix their issues on special teams. Special teams haven't got better this year, so I'm kind of surprised Jarvis sticks around. But I still think Travis Green's coming in. If it's Green, they won't announce it till after Utica's playoff is over, obviously. But that seems to be the way it's going. There have been a couple of teams that when they had coaching vacancies interviewed Travis Green, and it ended up going the other way. I think he had an interview with Colorado last summer. But, Green will end up being the Canucks coach. And I feel bad for Willie because he didn't have a very good team. And I could almost understand Magna playing with the Sedins because the Sedins have lost a step. And I think he was trying to get other lines going. I think he realized we can't just chain our wagon to the Sedins. That's not going to work. So I'm going to give them somebody who can keep up with them and not hurt them. And I'm going to take the dynamic forwards and try to find a combination of them together to get us out of this funk. But after the first month of the season, it was really obvious the Canucks weren't going anywhere. And Benning either could not or would not bring in anybody who was going to right the ship. The Louis Eriksson signing, absolute complete disaster. I didn't think it was going to be a 30-goal forward kind of thing, but I had no idea it would be the disaster it's been. I didn't like the Jared McCann for Eric Branson trade when it happened, but they didn't work for either team. Florida wasn't better on the blue line, and the Canucks weren't better up front. It was really weird. Because both teams tried to accentuate that move with other moves and try to make up for it, and it just didn't work. The Canucks have gone through a lot of young forwards over the last couple of seasons, and there have been some head-scratchers. Acquiring Emerson Edom was kind of a head-scratcher, and then the way he left was a head-scratcher too. And the way McCann left, and then after he left, there was kind of some negative talk about McCann from Canuck fans and seemingly certain players, and it was really, really strange. And then you get Branson, who plays 30 games and gets hurt. And he's up in the air. And what's funny is a lot of the same people who last summer said, well, Vancouver's got good Branson, they've got size. And, I kept saying, well, what about Trampkin? Now, those people are saying, well, we don't really need good Branson. They can expose him in the expansion draft. I don't understand that. If Goodbranson is as good as people said he was when he was acquired a year ago, then you protect him. And you're willing to lose somebody else instead. You don't expose him. If you expose him, you're saying, well, I was wrong. Because the situation in Vancouver hasn't changed. They didn't bring in anybody new other than Stetcher, and Troy Stetcher does not change the role of Eric Goodbranson. And Trampkin was already here. He played 13 games last season. He was already here. So, do things get better under Travis Green? Well, first off, we got to see how the draft lottery works out. The draft lottery is a big one. It's a big one for the Canucks. It's a big one for the organization as a whole, for Benning, Linden, everybody right on down. Make no mistake, I'm not letting Trevor Linden off the hook on this one. He brought in Desjardins. He decided, we're going for it. We believe we've got a shot. Coming into this season, Linden said he believed on paper the Canucks were as good as almost anybody in the West. While many fans were screaming, this team isn't good enough. They end up finishing 29th overall in the NHL, which is not how bad they are. It's not. There was something happened in that room about a month ago, and the team just stopped. They just stopped playing. And I got to watch 2 games live after they stopped playing. So, I don't know what that says for me, but I know there are silver linings, as there is with any team after a season that's disastrous. I think Green will be good for the team. I think Travis Green could be a very good coach for the team. I think that in terms of Vancouver's standing and in terms of Vancouver's hopes for the future, I think Besser's big, Stetcher's big, Trampkin literally is big. Demko is turning out to be the real thing, and I do think Demko will be ready. I wouldn't be surprised if they fast track him in the fall. I know they're talking about bringing back Miller. I know, the rumor has it'll be Markstrom and Miller. I don't know, because I don't know how much Miller would want to go through another season like this one. Ryan Miller's not getting any younger. He's still a very good goaltender. Don't let his numbers in Vancouver fool you. He's still capable of being a starting goaltender in the NHL. But for how much longer? So he may want to come back. He may feel a loyalty to Vancouver and an unfinished business kind of feeling with Vancouver, but I think he'd be crazy to come back. I think he'd be insane to come back. And I kind of think the Canucks would be a little bit crazy to bring him back. I was advocating for Bachman. Last night's game against Edmonton, Bachman looked pretty pedestrian. But next year's not the year anyways. Besser is the real deal, I think. Besser's kind of a tough one to call, but I do believe he's the real deal. I have no opinion on Anton Rodin. He didn't play enough games before he got hurt, and I have no opinion on Rodin. At the start of the year, I didn't think anything of him, and I still don't, because we didn't see anything of him to think anything of him. But Vancouver is in an interesting position because right now they're likely drafting in the top 3. At worst, they're drafting at 5th. Worst position they can get is 5th. So they're going to get a decent player. He's not going to be a huge superstar player because this draft doesn't have that McDavid, Matthews kind of sexy pick in it. But they're going to get a good player. I think if they double down on it and they say, all right, we're going to bite the bullet again, and next year they allow themselves to fall to the bottom of the league, and next year they luck out and get number 1 overall. From what I've heard with scouting, from what I've read, next year's number 1 overall could be in the Tavares kind of category in terms of what he's able to bring the team. So we'll see if they end up doing that. I don't think there's ever any intention on tearing a team apart, but here's Vancouver, and I think it's the time to do it. I think that firing Willie Desjardins was a no-brainer. I think getting rid of his staff signals that they're going to bring one in, and I think they'll probably bring it in with Travis Green. I think Green will have tremendous say on who his assistant coaches are so that they make him comfortable in his new job, which I would imagine he'll get after Utica's out. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to browse your way through. Let me know if the audio quality is better with this microphone, which is built into the computer, rather than the one on the webcam. The webcam, the picture quality is still really good. I'm really impressed with the webcam still for the picture quality. I think just somewhere along the way something happened with the microphone, which is going to happen when you're carrying it around with you and you're bringing it downstairs, upstairs every day, and you're moving it around a lot. It's going to happen. So apologies for the audio quality being as it's been. Hopefully this has fixed it. I hope Willie Desjardins finds himself another job. I don't know that it'll be a head coaching job. I could see him working very well as an assistant coach in the NHL. He's a very nice, very personable guy. He never said anything in a press conference that seemed out of line to me. He was very even-tempered. Next time around, maybe Vancouver will have a more fiery coach. We'll see if it's Green. We'll see how that turns out. And let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching.